Hey guys, today I want to talk about trail running shoes versus boots for hiking. And before I get started, I want to say that gear is extremely personal and I believe that everybody should hike their own hike, so what works for me may not work for you. I also want to say that this is one of those topics that it seems like a lot of people are very passionate about, and I personally don't think it's that deep, but it always seems to come up when you're talking to other hikers. So here we go. On REI.com, trail running shoes range from $60 to $205. And boots range from $84 to $260. So right off the bat, you can see that trail running shoes fall into a much more affordable category, but that does come with a few trade-offs. Next, we'll get into weight. It seems like the average for trail running shoes is anywhere from 20 to 25 ounces, and boots generally range from 40 to 48 ounces. So once again, you can see that trail running shoes have a pretty big advantage here because they come in at about half the weight of boots. And I think this can be a pretty big deal when you're hiking long distances especially. There was a survey done in 2019 of hikers hiking the Appalachian Trail, and of those hikers, 72% started with trail running shoes, and then 77% finished with trail running shoes. So there was more people that finished with trail running shoes than what started with trail running shoes. 16% of those hikers started with boots, and only 10% finished with boots. So you can see there was a pretty steep drop off of people that started with boots and finished with boots. And my guess is that probably is all attributed to weight. However, now we'll get into durability. Trail running shoes are generally good for anywhere from 300 to 500 miles before you have to replace them, and boots will generally last you anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles. Now you can see that's a major difference there. If you're paying twice as much for boots as you are for trail running shoes, but they only last half as long, then that kind of offsets the whole price difference thing. If you're considering hiking a long trail like the Appalachian Trail or Pacific Crest Trail, then you might want to consider the cost of having to replace trail running shoes versus boots frequently. Next up, we'll cover ankle support. As you can see, trail running shoes generally offer zero ankle support. For somebody like myself, that's not an issue because I don't have any pre-existing ankle issues. But if you're somebody that has a lot of ankle issues, this may not be the shoe for you. Now there's several different height of boots out there, but on this particular pair you can see there's definitely a lot of ankle support. And you can get boots to go much higher or much lower than this, so that's really up to your preference. Overall, I'll say boots offer much better ankle protection and ankle support than trail running shoes do. Next, we'll get into comfort. In my opinion, trail running shoes get an A+ in comfort. For somebody like myself, these fit much better than boots ever have for me. Also, because they're made out of such lighter materials, you can see that they flex a lot better, so that makes the trail feel a lot better under my feet. Boots, on the other hand, I would give a C in comfort. The only reason I give a C to boots is because in my opinion, you have to spend a lot more money on boots to get a comfortable pair than you would with trail running shoes. If you compared the cheapest trail running shoes to the cheapest boots, I think the trail running shoes would be much more comfortable. The last category I want to get into is how practical each of these are. In my opinion, trail running shoes are much more practical than hiking boots. And that's because I haven't really found very many situations where I couldn't use trail running shoes opposed to hiking boots. 9 times out of 10 when you're hiking, it's a well-beaten path with a lot of flat ground. This definitely varies person to person. I really think the only time that hiking boots can outperform trail running shoes on the trail is in deep snow, deep mud, or maybe rock scrambling. But really, even in those conditions, for me personally, I would prefer to be wearing trail running shoes just because of the weight alone. Trail running shoes have an excellent sole, as do hiking boots. So I haven't had any issues with traction or anything like that when wearing trail running shoes as opposed to hiking boots. Some people might prefer a heavier, more durable feeling boot as opposed to something that feels like a running shoe on your foot. But for me, I'll take these things all day long. With all that being said, as you can tell, my personal preference is definitely trail running shoes, but I would encourage everybody to try a pair of both and see what you really like. It may come down to the style of hiking you're doing for that particular hike, or you may be a person that just prefers boots. Either way, I think the most important thing you can do is get out there and hike. I think that's going to do it for the video today, guys. If you got any value out of this video, please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you prefer, trail running shoes or hiking boots. Thank you.